Today I'm revealing my plan for sewing my summer wardrobe. So come along with me as I walk you through my entire design process so you can get fresh ideas for your own summer sewing, learn why I choose certain fabrics for summer, and get a free planner to help you make your own dreamy summer wardrobe. Okay, let's look at my summer projects. The look I'm going for this season is soft, bright, and easy. Now, bright is not usually a word that I include when planning my wardrobe. I usually like a solid base of neutrals with a few softer colors mixed in, and then the occasional pop of brightness. But this summer, I really felt drawn to even more of the bright cherry red that I love to wear, and there's no better time to play with color than summer. I kept thinking about last summer, and I have this really wonderful memory of spending my birthday out at a cherry orchard with my dog Lucy, picking cherries under this beautiful blue sky. I kept thinking about cherries and picnics, and I decided to call this collection Juicy Summer. For my goal, I wrote that I want to create summer pieces I can turn to year after year. You guys know that I'm sharing my journey here to create an 80% handmade wardrobe, so I really wanted to make things that feel like me, that make me happy, that'll become long-term pieces in my closet. Sewing my own wardrobe has made me so much pickier about the clothing I want in my life, and I think that's a really good thing. Each time I go through this design process, I realize more and more about what I really like and really want to wear, versus what's cute on other people or what's trendy right now. Here's the mini mood board I created for the projects I'm about to show you. You can see I included an image of cherries here, which just reminded me of last summer. I also included a lot of inspirational images that help me to create a vision of how I want to spend my summer, like being outdoors in nature, doing some traveling, eating outside with friends, and harvesting veggies and flowers from my garden. It's sort of an idealized version of life in summer, but it helps me think about how I'll actually be wearing the clothes I make. Now, let me show you the color palette I landed on. Okay, so this color palette is very similar to the one I created for spring, and that makes sense for me because I'm really trying to create a cohesive mix and match wardrobe for myself. I included the same black, ivory, and tan neutrals, navy, pink, and soft yellow for basics, and my statement color is that bright cherry red. The really exciting part of it is the prints. I'm using a lot of prints this season, and I'll show you the fabrics I have in a minute as we go through each project. By the way, I'm using the free Seamwork sewing planner to create this plan, which is part of the Design Your Wardrobe process that we teach. If you want a free download of the planner, I'll put a link to where you can get that below. Okay, let's get to the projects. My first project is the Seamwork Fern blouse, which is a romantic and pretty raglan blouse. It has this beautiful gathered neckline, gathered sleeves with a bound finish, and a placket down the front with a staggered button placement inspired by vintage designs. My starting point for this project was this image I came across of a red and white floral blouse. Even though the style is a little different, I love the colors and the use of trim. I decided to riff on this and make mine in a floral print and add some kind of solid trim along the placket and neckband. I'm thinking flat piping will work really well here. I'll likely end up wearing this a lot with a denim mini skirt or some tailored shorts in black, ivory, or natural linen. Even though a blouse like this looks great with jeans, I usually find I get too hot in the summer for jeans. But then once fall rolls around, I'll definitely pull those out again. For fabric, I'm so excited about this one. I came across this gorgeous Liberty Tonalon on the B&J Fabrics website, and I simply fell in love with it. The print is called Sanborn, and the colorway is cherry. I just think it's so gorgeous, like an Indian block print, but with that Liberty flair. I'll probably pick up a solid red cotton lawn and use that to create flat piping as a trim. So flat piping is basically just bias cut strips of fabric folded in half. Let me know if you want to learn more about how to do that. I'm super excited to make this blouse, and I think it'll get a lot of wear this summer. My next project is the Kari romper, which is a loose and swingy romper that ties at the shoulders. Now, some of you may remember that I actually planned to sew this last summer, but I didn't end up doing it after all. But I'm still excited to make it a year later, which tells me that it'll be a long-term winner for me. The big inspiration for this project is a cute floral romper that I already own. I think it's from the 90s and it's made in rayon, and I tend to wear it a lot in the summer because it keeps me cool like a dress, but the shorts make it feel really casual and just easy to move around in. The great thing about a romper is that you just throw it on and go. So I'll most likely wear this with flat sandals in summer like Birkenstocks. For fabric, I originally wanted to make this in this lovely rayon I had in my stash with little pink rosebuds all over it. I just think it's so delicate and pretty, and I've been searching for the perfect project for this fabric. But after I started planning my projects, I sat with it a while and I thought, does a romper in a fabric like this maybe look like it's for a baby? Since big baby is not really the look I'm going for, I ran it by our designer Haley at lunch one day recently and she agreed. It was giving baby vibes. So I dug in my stash and I pulled out some simple white linen instead. I think this is going to be much more adult and elegant, and it's still going to keep me nice and cool in the summer heat. Next up, we have the Seamwork Rey Bucket Hat, another project I've been wanting to sew for a long time. Rey is actually a bundle that includes a belt bag. You may have seen my video where I turned it into a dog walking bag with an eyelet for doggy mess bags. The bucket hat is fully reversible, has top stitching all around the brim, and it's a great scrap buster. I spend a ton of time outside in summer, either going for long walks with the dogs or working in my garden, so I wanted a hat to help keep the sun off. I decided it would be handy to add ties to it. I have a really dorky hiking hat from REI with ties, and not only do they keep it on your head, but it makes it easy to take it off and just let it dangle on your back if it gets too hot. This is really one of those utilitarian projects, can also be super cute. So I'm planning to wear this mainly for sun protection. For fabric, I wanted to use at least some fabric I already have, and I realized that the leftover Liberty Tana lawn for my sage blouse that I sewed in winter would be absolutely perfect. So I'm using this for one side. For the other, I'll probably go with a solid red. I might even do white top stitching, which I think would be really cute. Next, we have the Seamwork Lilac dress, which is one of our 2 new patterns this month. By the way, I'll link to all these patterns below if you want to check them out. Now, this is the bonus version of Lilac, which is available only to our members. And I was really torn between this version and the main version, which has darling cap sleeves and a deep V-neck. The bonus version is sleeveless and has this pretty sweetheart neckline that ultimately won me over. But the really special thing about it is the buttons down the front, which close with rouleau loops. It just makes it feel really special. Something about this design just screamed polka dots to me. I've wanted a polka dot dress for a while now, and summer just seems like the perfect time. In summer, I can wear this on its own with gold jewelry and pretty sandals, or lace up espadrilles for a really classic look. Once it starts getting chillier, I think it would look lovely with tights and a big fluffy cardigan layered over it. For fabric, I found this rayon challis from our friends at Stone Mountain & Daughter. I just ordered it, so I don't have it yet, but I think it'll be great for this dress. I chose rayon challis because I wanted something with lots of drape. Silk would have been nice too, but I've learned over the years that silk can feel just a little bit too dressed up for day-to-day wear for me, especially for dresses. I'm also planning to make covered buttons to match, which I think always look really elegant with button loops. The whole dress design feels really special, but also wearable day to day. By the way, I only chose 4 projects for the summer because I'm also planning to sew some things for my house, like new Roman shades for 2 rooms, where my cat Duke destroyed our existing shades. Anyway, let me know if you want to see those projects at the end of the season, along with all the rest of the projects that I've shared today. I love showing you guys what I actually made after all this planning, so stay tuned for that. And if you want to see the last collection I sewed, check out this video where I share all the projects I made for spring, how they turned out, and the sewing lessons I learned.